present the Elementary and Secondary Teachers of the Year for the Clarenceville School District, please welcome Clarenceville Superintendent Paul Shepik.
Good evening. I want to start by thanking Dan and the Chamber and all the sponsors of this celebratory event. It's one of the best nights of the year for the city and for the school districts. Each year, the city of Livonia has a great deal to celebrate. I'm a proud resident of this city. I want to thank my Board of Education members that are here tonight who are attending to honor our two Teachers of the Year. I also want to congratulate all of the families and people and organizations and businesses who will be honoring tonight. Thank you so much for making Livonia a great community to live in. This week is National Public Schools Week, so a great time to celebrate the educators from Clarenceville and Livonia Public Schools. We continue to celebrate our educators through the Be Kind Livonia campaign for their contribution to our community. A date for you, March 16th, 2020. Schools ordered closed. February 28th, 2022, 23 months later. Mask mandates made optional and left up to local school boards to decide. 23 long, difficult, challenging months educators have battled this pandemic in order to educate and care for our students. In that time, I've had the opportunity and the blessing to observe my teachers and educators, administrators, everybody who makes up our school district work. And some descriptive words came to mind to me that I want to share with you. Starting with bravery, putting others before self. I didn't wear a tie tonight because I wore my Oxford Strong. I get a little emotional about that, but I'll tell you what, my teachers, all educators connected to education showed grit, they showed flexibility, they showed collaboration, creativity beyond belief, critical thinking, communication, character, citizenship, problem solving, perseverance, and most of all, we needed humor. Educators, for these 23 months, have demonstrated all of these traits to our kids. And these are the traits that make good citizens. They are our true heroes. In the Clarenceville School District, our mission is to create a learning culture where all means all. Every person connected to our school matters. We strive to live into that mission every day. As educators, we continue to make good things happen for other people. Educators strive to model being our best self in all situations. And this is a challenging and difficult work in normal times, much less a pandemic. So it's my great pleasure tonight to have two of my building administrators here to honor our elementary and secondary teachers of the year for the Clarenceville School District. First up, I'd like to welcome, or have you welcome, Grandview Elementary Principal Melissa Carruth.
Hello, good evening. I'm honored to be here. I am Melissa Carruth, the proud principal of Grandview Elementary in the Clarenceville School District, and I'm honored to be standing in front of all of you to honor one of Grandview's great teachers, Shannon Thomas. It has been said, the mediocre teacher tells, the good teacher explains, the superior teacher demonstrates, and the great teacher inspires. That is Mrs. Thomas to her students, an inspiration. Shannon is an Eastern Michigan elementary education graduate and holds a master's degree from Marygrove. Shannon has spent 23 years with the Clarenceville School District. Shannon's taught everything: first grade, second grade, third grade, virtual, face-to-face, even 1 year of sixth grade science, and is currently our math interventionist. I could go on and speak to the never-ending committees that Mrs. Thomas has chaired and served on for over her 23 years at Grandview, or the quick adopting and innovating best practices that is carried out by Mrs. Thomas daily in the classroom, or the copious amounts of additional training she took part in, or the safe and nurturing environment that she upholds for her students each day. But what Grandview parents have said about Mrs. Thomas is all we need to hear to understand why Shannon Thomas is the Clarenceville Elementary Teacher of the Year. One parent's words stood out to me, and I just wanted to highlight a few phrases. It isn't hard to find good qualities in Mrs. Thomas. She has so much compassion for her students. She has always gone above and beyond to make sure her students are supported both educationally and emotionally. And goes on to say that at a time when things were so uncertain, when she was always approachable and made us feel that we would get through the school year together. When we had questions, she found answers. The communication between teacher, student, and parent is so important, and she always gave 100%. We truly enjoyed working with Mrs. Thomas, and our family will be forever grateful for the passion she has for teaching. Another parent stated, "How does one begin to write something that can accurately describe the gratitude they have for a woman who educationally carried their child through an entire pandemic, and online no less? Thank you will never be enough. Moving into this year, my daughter needed interventions to help her to be successful and bridge her learning gaps. You should have seen the smile when she came home and told me that she got to do math interventions with Mrs. Thomas. I was just as excited to hear the news because I knew she was going to get exactly what she needed. If you ask my teacher what she does in intervention, she'll tell you she gets to play really fun math games like Quick Draw and Treasure Hunt. What I hear is Mrs. Thomas just working her magic again. In closing, I'd like to offer a piece of what I feel is stellar advice. The parent says if you're looking for the measure of a good teacher, just use Mrs. Thomas as the ruler and guide, and you'll find exactly the kind of loving and mindful educator we need leading our children into their future." Now that sounds like an inspiration to me. Mrs. Thomas changes lives every day and makes the world a better place. One student at a time, one day at a time. Mrs. Thomas helps children to find the joy in their learning and makes learning fun so that all students can succeed under her instruction. Thank you, Mrs. Thomas, for inspiring our children. I'm honored to be introducing you, learning with you, and seeing you inspire students each day. What a pleasure to present the Clarenceville Elementary Teacher of the Year to Shannon Thomas.
Next up, we have Mr. Troy Nelson, high school principal.
Thank you, Mr. Shepik. It's my honor and privilege tonight to introduce Mike Korczyk as the Clarenceville High School Teacher of the Year. In the almost 20 years that Mike has been at Clarenceville High School, he's been a champion for children, a leader of learning in the diversity, equity, and inclusion area, and has also demonstrated a willingness to evolve into the type of educator that best fits the needs of the students that are in front of him. He has led staff as a builder of positive classroom culture, differentiated instruction, and designed the necessary modifications for all students with IEPs to meet success in the classroom. I could talk more about the specifics and use more educational jargon. However, I thought the best way for you to get to know Mr. Korczyk is to share some reflections from students, staff, and parents. Some staff has said about Mike, while the material is important, Mike sees the student and her or his needs first. He genuinely cares for his students while pushing them to strive for more. He is empathetic and still demanding and sees all students as his own. He treats them with dignity and respect, and the students reciprocate. Another teacher said he builds community in his classroom as well as any teacher I've ever met in my 20 years. Parents reflected the following. Mr. Korczyk has gone above and beyond to motivate my somewhat unmotivatable child to not just complete writing projects, but to be genuinely interested and excited about them, telling us what they have discussed in class. He met our child where they were at with their writing skills, their level of interest in writing, and personal interests. Somehow, Mr. Korczyk managed to engage my child enough that they asked me to buy materials for projects and include me, their parent, in what they were planning to do. And they were in high school. Another parent said, getting my son, who likes cars, video games, wrestling, and girls, and not always in that order, to be enthusiastic about creating writing projects is not just an accomplishment, it is a miracle. And what I believe is most important, students reflected the following when asked about Mr. Korczyk. He is a teacher everyone wishes they could have. And that is why I find it as a huge opportunity and gift to be in his class. I don't think I would be able to make it through high school without him. He is a man I look up to every day, day in and day out. Another student said, in all of my 4 years of being at Clarenceville, his class has been my favorite. Not only because I have learned so much, but because he has created a culture in his classroom where I actually want to attend each day. He has created a school-wide tutoring program that is going to benefit so many students struggling with their academics right now. No teacher has done something that will benefit this many students on a widespread scale like he has. Another student said, I have personally experienced an amount of compassion that I've never received from a teacher before. The thing is, it's not just me. I've witnessed Mr. Korczyk taking the time to check up on other students who are also struggling. When I reflect on these things that the stakeholders in our community have said about Mr. Korczyk, it's clear to me why he is our Teacher of the Year. When someone has this thread coming through all different stakeholders talking about creating that culture of connectivity in the classroom, that culture of acceptance, that ability to go beyond and make a difference in a young person's life. That's what we're looking for, and that's who Mike Korczyk is, not just in the classroom, but every day. And so it is my deep pleasure to introduce Mike Korczyk, our Teacher of the Year. Mike truly is one of the reasons why every day is a great day to be a Clarenceville Trojan.
Dan, one more thing, because you know what I do every year, 18 years now. Why does Clarenceville exist? Right? Michigan became a state January 26th, 1837. Clarenceville became a school district January 26th, 1837. We were here first. That's my joke, better than Dan's, let's face it. All right, so I have a mask on too, just 8 months in remission. I can't risk it, so I'm wearing a mask. Thank you for tonight.